Hello, hope everybody's doing well today. We just finished up our Goju-ryu class and we focused on some of those things that I mentioned in that last video, some of these kind of underappreciated techniques. I say that just because I'm just speaking about what I see posted elsewhere. There's lots of great instructors out there putting out lots of material, but there's a few techniques I don't see focused on a lot, and those were ones I just wanted to highlight because we find them very, very helpful. So today, I'm really grateful because Sensei Davila is here. He's the head of the Kokan-den, of which I'm a member. He's my Goju-ryu teacher, and I'm very grateful to have him here, and very lucky. So he agreed to help be my uke, just very giving teacher, and I really appreciate that. So I want to deep dive on ura-uke for a few moments because we spent a lot of time on it in class today, so it's fresh in mind. So as I mentioned, ura-uke is essentially a good size of, or good component of mawashi-uke, and it's also kind of in the family of kaki-uke to ura-uke to mawashi-uke. So what I mean by that is kaki-uke covers a certain zone and space, and then ura-uke continues to cover slightly additional space, and then mawashi-uke also brings the other hand in play to either manage or counterattack at the same time or nearly thereafter. So I see these as all in kind of one family of applications. So one of the things we did today, we spent some time in just the camera because I'm short and Sensei's taller than me. So ura-uke is a technique that we use often in a few different ways. So Sensei, would you mind joining me? So there are, 3, 4, 5 different ways that we like to use this. And depending on the timing, that's going to tell you some of the utility. So let's say my timing is bad, and in the first beat of the attack, actually, before we get going, I'll throw out a couple of disclaimers. I just thought of it. So, one, there's already going to be a couple disclaimers around, let's see, we're not on the street in street clothes, so we're not real. We're not in a gi, so we're not real. We're not throwing punches fast or hard enough, so none of this stuff is going to work. I would say just this is for training and teaching purposes. It's up to you what you do with this or don't do with this. You can totally disregard all this, or you can pressure test this stuff yourself and see where it fits in your Goju-ryu practice or other art, just depending on what's going on. So anyhow, I say all that because we're just going to be demonstrating against some basic techniques. A punch represents, he could two-handed push me, and I might use the same technique for that as I would for a middle punch. So we'll just use a middle punch for demonstration purposes for teaching, and I hope you can just appreciate that for the teaching purpose that it is, right? So he could be reaching out to grab me, punch me, do anything. Jeremy, thank you so much for being here. Jesus, good to see you. Thank you for joining. So ura-uke, if we're at range and I'm in the after and I wasn't really expecting what's coming in and he reaches out with that one hand, he's going to grab me, what I might do is use the ura-uke this way. Now my next technique is going to be dictated also by timing. So if my timing is bad but not super bad, what I might do is counterattack that immediately. I might use ura-uke to an upward palm to the jaw that way. So he attacks. That way I'm going to sink him down with my bodily energy. I'm going to use sinking energy that way and try to get some whiplash in his neck. From there I'm going to try and go directly to the chin, break the teeth, and go for the eyes and the ears and that kind of stuff. If my timing is pretty bad, then I'm in the after, I'm out of range anyhow. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use ura-uke to bait him into punching to the face a second time. If I say hi, he's going to be wanting to come here and I'm going to have to defend that. But I'm deciding I want to bait the face twice. So he attacks the face once, and then this one's going to come through. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and be ready. I'll be in the after on the first beat, and in the during on the second beat. So the first one comes, second one, I'm going to try and capture the arm. Or there's so many things we can do, right? I can just counter this way. I can come this way and defend again with the right hand. So I can defend once with the right and then second. I could use, like we talked about on that last video, the Seisan technique. There's a million things you can do. Since we cut the angle just a little, actually on this side if you don't mind. So pointing at the camera a little bit. So here's what I'm seeing. What I'm seeing is a punch that came in. I'm trying to defend against it, but I want to sink it down so I can bait the second punch, because as he throws the second punch, I might want to do a double leg takedown from here. or something below, right? If it's here, maybe I want to come to the outside and try to break the elbow with a scissoring motion, right? There's so many things we could try to do, but the point is, if I'm in the after, I want to try and get into during on the second beat. So first technique, I bait the high line by sinking this down, and then I have a chance. I can affect chin-na or grappling or jiu-jitsu here. I can attempt to immediately break that if it's coming through this line, or I can try to counterattack and then maybe come in for a takedown. It just depends on what you want to do. Or like I mentioned, here I may come all the way down and do a takedown for grappling purpose. But I better be sure my friends aren't around, right? So that's one way. If we're not here in the right timing, we have to do these things. We have to go from the after to the during. Now, in the during, if I'm faster, I should have my hands in a position where I can come in more quickly. So we use the 1-2 for training purposes, 1-2 to do this. But when it comes to real speed, we've got to do this more quickly. And what I've got to do is, in a very strict ideal sense, it's 1-2 this way, right? 1-2. But in a more realistic sense, I'm probably going to come in together and sink down to open that high line and then be ready for attacking under that line. So what we're going to do is, I'm going to try and, as that punch comes in, I'm going to try to make sure I'm safe and then engage in a very sticky way here. And now what you can't hear is the grinding noises of our forearms as we're doing this, but what I'm trying to do is reach all the way across, because I want to do one of two things. I either want to directly attack, or I want to cap and cover and manage that other arm. The principle of one manages two. Yi fuk one covers or suppresses two. So if he's in a perfect karate stance, this technique looks ideal the way it is, right? Because I'm going to come in immediately over here this way. I'm covering his elbow so I don't get hit with this elbow as I enter, and now I'll counter with this hand, right? Or I come a little higher, and I come directly for the neck or the face, and I'm snaking in. If I'm a little further out, maybe I'll use the fingers to the throat or the eyes. If his hand's up like a punching position here, I might cap it that way and then counter. So the hand may not be fully turned over as we stretch it for real use in a fighting scenario. So as he punches, I'm trying to come across. I might wipe the face, and then I'm going to capture him if I can here and attack the face. Right? So these are all ways we try to use this technique. So that's bad timing, baiting, cutting across, capping the other arm. There's one more usage that we like to play with this, and that is a pass under. So one of the things you can do when you think about any technique is, what can I do with this side of the arm? What can I do with this side? What would I do with this, or this, or this? The technique's called ura-uke. So we start learning the technique by thinking about this part of the arm. But later we can think about others. So what I'm going to do now is think about this aspect. So as my arm goes out and this turns, we're going to use it for managing his other arm. As his other punch comes into the face, I'm going to continue my technique, and I'm going to pass him under this way and cap and push him here. So we start the technique. The second punch comes in very quickly. Up sensei. They're both headhunter punches. I'm going to catch it this way and use the ura-uke to turn it this way and come in and attack the structure. So maybe we change the angle just to see a little bit differently. So I'm going to engage this way first, finish my ura-uke here, and before he can throw the third punch, he's going to throw the one, crash through, and I want to use that technique maybe to push him off this way. So these are all things that you can do. Maintain your structure is an important aspect of this. So as I come in, what I don't want to do is this and not keep my structure. What I want to do when I engage this is lock my position in and move in with my structure so I can fully engage and press him off his balance and those kinds of things. So let me know if you have any questions. I'll re-demonstrate a few things and then we'll call it quits. Doesn't have to be a long video, just one topic, but hopefully you've seen already, 1, 2, so one way where I open the top line and bait the second attack, that's one. Second, I come in and cover the other hand, or cap it, or even if it's held as a boxer style, I'm still going to try and go capture that arm this way, and then attack the face. Or I go straight for the throat, this way. Let's see, and then the pass under method as well. Goba sensei. Punch to the face. I'm going to continue that technique here. Now, of course, I could go for an arm break if possible. Walk him around, walk him out the door if I'm working the door. But when you do this, what I want you to try is lock your elbow into your ribs the way the technique works here, and notice that this gives me a great ability to push with my lower base and not have to use my arms to do it. All right? So if there are no other questions, Sensei, thank you so much for your assistance. Appreciate it. All right, thanks a lot. Have a great Saturday. Take care.